Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what is probably my favorite new deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket, and that is going to be Turbo Grass Arceus with the new Power Link Carnivine and Speed Link Rotom. These are really cool cards that are very aggressive and pair really well with Arceus. So Carnivine does basically 50 damage as long as we have an Arceus or an Arceus EX on our bench. It's a grass Pokemon, does 50 damage, really fun. Really cool, similar to Skarmory, but it's a grass Pokemon, and instead of a tool card, we need Arceus on our bench. We also have the Speed Link Rotom, which is really cool. It has free retreat. It's a really good pivot if Arceus is on our bench, but also we can dash attack and do 20 damage to a benched Pokemon. We have only one copy of these, 2 Carnivine. We are running 2 Arceus EX. That's our primary mid and late game attacker here. Arceus, of course, one of the best cards in the entire game. And then we have a small Arceus, which is not really something we want to use to attack, but it can fulfill that condition of having an additional Arceus on our bench to, fulfill those conditions of Carnivine and Rotom. So just another Arceus card that can power them up. We're also running Sky Support Shaman to give our deck a lot of flexibility in retreating out. That's something that is pretty important in a deck like this. We want to be as consistent off the jump as possible, doing early damage with Carnivine, which is why we have the Sky Support Shamans in our deck here. We're running 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, a Rocky Helmet, 2 Research, 2 Sabrina, Giovanni, and a Cyrus. That is the deck list, guys. Let's get right into it. Turbo Arceus, Aggressive Arceus, my favorite new deck right now in Pokemon TCG Pocket here. We're going to play just 3 games, and or maybe not. Well, maybe we'll play 4. Who knows? But I'm not going to edit anything out of this video. When I do gameplay videos, I just kind of record, and I just go, and I do not... I do not edit them out. If I lose all of my games, that's terrible and it's a bad showcase, and I apologize for that. But we'll play at least hopefully a couple games so that we can at least win 1 game or 2 games. I don't really care if we win or not, because you know what, you win, you lose in Pokemon Pocket. It is what it is. This deck here is, I think, the 12th most played deck of the format so far. The other way to play Grass Arceus is with Executor, which is also really good, but this deck here has a 51% win rate, which isn't as high as maybe some of the other top decks of the format. But I think aggro decks maybe aren't in the best spot possible, but I do think that they're still really fun, and they're some of my favorite decks to play, which is why that's what we're playing in this video. We're playing Turbo Aggressive, fast-paced Arceus. It's really fun. We start with Cyrus, 2 Shaman, a Rotom, and a Pokeball in our hand, which is pretty interesting. We are going second, though, so we should be able to get a dash attack off pretty early here. We're probably playing against Celebi and Leafeon or Executor. That's really the only ways you play Leafeon, or play Celebi, rather. Let's play this Pokeball right off the bat and see if we can't draw anything here. We draw into the Arceus, which is totally fine. So our opponent didn't bench anything, which means Rotom won't be able to really do anything right now, but that's totally fine. We can go ahead and just start committing our energies to our Arceus and just leave it at that. There's nothing else we really need to do. Rotom now has free retreat, which is really cool. We don't draw it into the Carnivine, which is a little bit tough, but overall, it is what it is. This deck can function just as a normal tempo Arceus deck as well, which is pretty fun. And then Rotom can be sort of a late game attacker to finish KOs. So it's not always about being super aggressive, but you do have that option with Carnivine. And here comes the Shaman, which is definitely not a great card for our dash attacks. We're not getting much sort of leeway with dash attack doing 20 damage to a bench when Shaman's able to heal up here, but no problem whatsoever. We're going to set up our Arceus, and we're going to start hitting for 130 here in a couple turns. We are seeing that this is a water type deck, so probably playing Leafeon, like a water Leafeon deck. I would not be surprised about that. No reason to attach to the Rotom right now. He also has another grass energy coming up, or water energy rather. This is the one reason why, in every example basically that I give of these Leafeon grass type decks and Celebi decks, they should just be running grass energies. I know that it is sort of fun to play both water and grass energies and play Irida with it. It's a lot of extra healing, but it just makes the deck that much less consistent in scenarios just like this, where next turn he would be able to attack for Powerful Bloom, or this turn rather, but he's just not able to because he has water energies in his attacks, or in his energy zone. Another water energy after this, which is pretty bad for our opponent here. Hey, maybe he's not running any grass energies. I don't know what's really going on, but that's just my opinion. I think if we're playing grass decks, we should probably just be playing grass energies. That's my opinion. Makes the deck more consistent. Any dual energy deck is going to have inconsistencies that just make them, most of the time, make them not worth it. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and just KO the Celebi, and that's probably just going to be the game here. I don't know what our opponent can really do. The free retreat definitely is nice, although we did have Sky Support Shaman anyway, so we would have had free retreat no matter what. But let's go ahead, hit for 130, KOing this Celebi. This is really the main downside to Celebi also in the format right now, is that without Giant Cape, we're just going to get KO'd by Arceus, and it is kind of rough here. Our opponent doesn't really have anything else to do, and he's going to go ahead and concede. That's how it goes sometimes against Arceus. You know what? It is what it is. Not a great example, but you know what? Listen, we're here to showcase our deck and not our opponent's deck. So, you know what? let's go ahead and thank him. Shout out to Solo Prince. I think I've seen him around before, so shout out to him. And let's hop into just another game here. Again, I want to play just a couple of matches, a little bit of time, maybe 20, 30 minutes or so of us playing Pokemon Pocket and just hanging out, having a good time here. Yeah, so there's a couple of, if you look at the top of the metagame, which we do all the time as we analyze the metagame in Pokemon Pocket, what we see is that it's really dominated by 3 decks. It's dominated by Arceus and Dialga, Rampardos and Lucario, which is a counter to Arceus and Dialga, and then the water decks, mainly Palkia EX decks. And I think that's totally fine. Let's, does this Arceus ever trick us to 2? It does, yeah. Let's just lead off with Arceus EX. We do have Rocky Helmet. So those are the 3 decks that are really dominating the metagame. And yes, from a competitive standpoint, if you're not playing any of those 3 decks, your chances of winning probably aren't nearly as high. Those decks have the highest win rates and they're the most successful decks, but I do think that there's actually quite a bit of decks that are still really, really good that just don't really see enough play or aren't, I should say, as popular as the other decks. But this is one of them that I think probably should see more play. We're probably playing against Mewtwo, which means I kind of want to put Giant Cape on Arceus and not Rocky Helmet. That probably seems like the smarter play here. We're going first, so unfortunately we are unable to attach an energy this turn. Going first in this format definitely feels pretty tough. Yes, we are playing Carnivine, so that is something, but for the most part, going first for most decks is just bad. I mean, realistically, the only decks that want to go first instead of going second, and there's a Cresselia, are decks that are playing stage 1 Pokemon with 1 energy in their attack cost. There's really not many of them. Executor is really the only deck that kind of does do that right now. But for the most part, I think all of the top decks in the format would probably rather go second. Maybe Rampardos and Lucario though, with a Sudowoodo or Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan or something, and then Lucario on their second turn going first. Maybe that's probably more ideal for them. I'm not sure. Okay, so now we're definitely going to just start attaching here. This Cresselia is a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. He's he's got more HP than I'm able to deal here, and he will be able to attack before us. But you know what? I'm actually feeling pretty okay in general. I'm just going to pass. Not much we're doing right now. I know I said this is Turbo Arceus. We haven't really showcased the turbo aspect of this deck much. But we see a Mismagius, which is pretty funny. Arceus as well has kind of gay-kept some of these fringe meta Pokemon that would be okay with their status conditions, but unfortunately the status conditions don't work against Arceus. So, sorry Mismagius, sorry Wigglytuff, and sorry other Pokemon that do that. Is there any other EX Pokemon that do status conditions or special conditions? I don't know if there is. Is there? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. Okay, let's see. Do we grab maybe a Carnivine off this? That would be super cool. We do find the Carnivine. I like the Carnivine a lot here. Now, what we can do, we are going to get KO'd by the Cresselia, which is kind of tough. So I don't know if I really want to go into Carnivine yet. This is interesting. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go Arceus on the bench here, Rocky Helmet, and we are actually just going to go ahead and retreat. This is kind of a funny play from us, but we're kind of stalling a little bit in the sense that, we needed another Pokemon on our bench anyway. It was typically reserved for Rotom, but we're going to go ahead, slap Arceus in the active spot. It's got 120 HP, which is a good amount of HP if I'm being entirely honest with you. And then we put it Rocky Helmet, so we're going to force Cresselia to attack us a couple times. Now, Cresselia can heal itself whenever it attaches. That can be a little bit scary for sure. But Rocky Helmet should put maybe a little bit of additional pressure because it's got full HP, right? So there's nothing our opponent can do to heal on our turn, right? So that's kind of the checkmate version that we're doing here. And now I think what we can comfortably do actually is just attach some energies to Arceus and just start rolling. We're going to just wait for our opponent to attack us. He could play a Sabrina for sure, and that could be tough here. But basically what we're going to do here is just chill with this Arceus in the active spot and force our opponent to attack it with either Cresselia or Mismagius, and then we go into our Arceus EX and then KO that Pokemon. That's literally our strategy here. There's not much else we can do. Arceus has enough HP where it's living an attack, at least one from Mismagius and Cresselia, so we're forcing our opponent to take that first attack, take a chip damage here from Rocky Helmet, and then hopefully get KO'd by Arceus. Maybe he's running Giant Cape though, which would make this pretty awkward. And now he's going to attach energy to the Curly. He might just start attacking with this Curly. No, he's going to go into the Cresselia now. So this is the play that we were hoping would happen. But what's interesting though is that he can't attack this turn. Oh no, he can. Okay, with Gardevoir. So this is interesting. Again, it doesn't really matter unless we see a Giant Cape here, because he can't heal after he attacks, right? Unless we see a Giant Cape, he's going to get KO'd by our Arceus next turn. So that's just, that's just how that's going to go for our opponent here. And he does have the Giant Cape. Shout out to him. Okay, that's cool. You know what? Listen, shout out to my opponent here. And he's actually got the Sabrina too. He's got everything. He's got the entire hand, which is kind of crazy actually. Wow, okay, I did not see this coming here. Here's the thing, I don't mind feeding him a Shaman here. I don't think we ever bring up the Arceus. We want to definitely be able to live a couple of hits. We're not running Potion in this deck, which is kind of tough. So we're getting 2 at KO no matter what. Rocky Helmet is down, but it's not the end of the world here. So what we're going to do for sure, I think, is just go into our Carnivine, because he can heal for 40 damage, but he can't heal for... Actually, do we go into our Arceus now? That's a good question. Or do we go into the Carnivine? These are interesting things to think about. I guess we have to go into Arceus, right? The Sabrina Giant Cape play was literally exactly what our opponent needed, which is actually kind of crazy. I think we have to go Shaman here, because that pivot could be useful. And yeah, we're just going to hit him for 130. This is literally what we have to do here. Now, if he has Cyrus in his hand, which he very well could, then we're in a tough spot, because then he can just sort of Cyrus us and then KO us. So it's not super ideal. This matchup actually isn't great for us. Like Cresselia isn't great for Arceus, basically. Not getting our Carnivine online early enough definitely was a downside for us, because that aggression wasn't super helpful for us. There's the Psychic Flare. He's going to do 80 damage, and like I said, Miss Magius does 70, so technically we're not dying, which is pretty cool. But yeah, what we can do here is just finish off the KO with Carnivine. Kind of what we have to do. Only discarding 1 energy, which is pretty cool because of Shaman. And now we're just going to go ahead, Vine Whip, and KO the Cresselia. And now we're in a really interesting situation where Miss Magius here can't actually KO us. And they can't KO our Arceus as well. Which is very interesting here. But let's see if he goes ahead and attacks with this attacker, because he could make us confused, right? And then we would be in a kind of an awkward situation for sure. Let's see though if he has the Cyrus. He might just choose to bring up the Arceus, and if he does, it's really not the end of the world. But I'd be surprised if he went back to back, right? If he went back to back, you know. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, okay, we're definitely going off here with the Miss Magius, which is totally fine. Oh, the Rocky Helmet is super clutch. That is massive for our opponent here. And the Giovanni, oh my god, dude, this guy's got everything. He's got everything. He literally has the entire plays. He's done everything. I probably wouldn't have, well, yeah, I guess he kind of had to do that, didn't he? Okay, so now it's, I don't know, does it, our opponent, can he win here? I don't, yeah, I guess so, right? Well, no, not really. I think we actually just win no matter what here, right? Because we have Sabrina and Cyrus in our hand, which is tough. I don't know. Can our opponent win this? Does he have another Giovanni? I don't know what's going on here. We actually just have game on our hand here with the our own Giovanni, which is pretty funny. Okay. I was talking a lot. I was worried here, but yeah, Giovanni plus Ultimate Force is 140 here, and Rocky Helmet is not KOing us. So shout out to our opponent Bob here. I love his deck. It really is a pretty decent deck, but unfortunately, Arceus is the king of this format here. Even in a scenario where our opponent drew like everything he needed to, he literally like popped off every turn. He had the Sabrina play early on with the giant cape, and then he went into the next play after that, which was kind of crazy as well. So shout out to our opponent. Played pretty well. I think he made every kind of right move there. I just don't think he really had a better choice. Even if we didn't draw into Giovanni there, we could have just Sabrina'd and then forced him into into either of his bench Pokemon, and we would have got the win either way. So we had multiple win conditions in our hand there. I wasn't like, the Giovanni top deck didn't win us the game, but it did showcase that this deck is pretty good. It's got a lot of win conditions. I mean, it's not like we're going against like Arceus and Dialga or any like super top deck, but this isn't a bad deck. Like I said, it actually has won some smaller tournaments. It's placed pretty well in some large online tournaments. Just a really, really fun deck that is something that's different than the top decks of the metagame. So, excuse me. That's a big reason in my mind to play decks like this. And these are the decks that I like to play. I like fast-paced aggressive decks, particularly in Pokemon Pocket, even though we still have not managed to like get like the Carnivine going early on. We're going against Celebi again, which, I mean, we should have a good matchup against Celebi, but let's see if we can get a Carnivine going here. We have the giant cape here. Let's draw Carnivine right off this researcher right now. Let's just pull him. Carnivine maybe and a Shaman. Okay, no. But that's totally fine because we can't attack this turn anyway. So let's play the Pokeball. There's our boy Carnivine. Exactly what we wanted to see. Let's go ahead. Rocky Helmet to the Carnivine. And then I think what we always do, no matter what, like even preemptively, is put the Giant Cape on the Arceus, because we see a Celebi here. We'd rather be above that 150 HP threshold, force him to flip 4 coins, and we're going to go ahead and just pass. And then hopefully next turn we can research maybe into a Shaman, maybe into another X-Speed or something like that. Or I think we only have 1 X-Speed in the deck. Maybe we draw into our Shaman, and then we can go ahead, retreat into Carnivine. If not that big of a deal. We can just attach energies to the Arceus and then pass a turn. Now we're playing against a Celebi with grass energies in its attack cost, or in its energy zone. So should set up for a little bit more of an interesting scenario here. Okay, so there's a Rotom as well. So, okay, let's see what we can draw here off this research. Double research always feels good early in the game here. No, okay. So that is a bit tough, I think, for sure. Oh, man, okay. All right. That is not super ideal here. No Sky Support Shaman. We have all of our other Pokemon except Sky Support Shaman. So not much that we can do here. I don't really want to stay in the active spot, but I think we kind of have to because it's not worth retreating. So let's just go ahead and pass. Yeah, we're just going to pass. It's unfortunate. It's definitely not the most ideal thing in the world. If he flips like double heads with this powerful Bloom, then that is also bad. Just bad for us. We're not playing any healing. Like the cool thing with Arceus, or like not cool thing, but the thing that's cool, at least that's balancing for Arceus, is that we don't have, there's 1 heads and there's 2. Okay, you know what? Listen, it was about time that we got rolled in one of these games, but let's see. We can still recover here. I'm actually very confident that we can still recover here. There's another Giant Cape as well, which is just a little bit aggressive. I don't think we really needed that. Let's go ahead and get out of here before we get absolutely mopped by this Celebi. Unfortunately, no Sky Support Shaman, so we have to discard this energy, which is no bueno. Definitely not good. Let's bench this Carnivine, and let's just start hitting here. There is a chance, technically speaking, that we are able to live this Celebi next turn, and if we are able to live an attack from the Celebi, then that definitely could be the difference between us losing this game or not losing this game. There comes a second Celebi here. I am very confident that this man is going to... Okay, the potion, that actually doesn't change anything unless we see another potion or Erica's, which he probably does have, to be honest. He's got 4 cards in hand. Oh, he benches to the... Oh, okay. So he doesn't really care. He's just gonna... He knows he's gonna flip 2 heads, right? That's how... Yeah. I mean, he knew he was gonna flip 2 heads, right? I mean, why would he have done anything other than flip heads twice, right there? I mean, right? I mean, of course he was going... Like, what? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he have done that? What kind of a play was that? What? Like, who does that? I don't understand. What just happened there? But this guy's name is Madossi, which is crazy. There's Sky Support Shaman. Thanks for joining the party, my guy. Okay, so we're in basically the same spot we were before, unfortunately, but now just in a worse spot, I think, right? So let's go ahead and just bench all these Pokemon, and yeah, let's go ahead and Vine Whip here. If he didn't KO our Carnivine last turn, then we would have been in a much better position, because we could have attached this energy to Arceus and then attacked, and then, you know, attached another energy to Arceus. We probably would have lost either way. But again, our opponent's probably just going to flip 2 more heads with Celebi here, right? So, okay, so there's 1 Tails, so we're living. That's something, at least, right? We are living, which is fun. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I don't think there's really any other options, right? I think we have to just start attaching to the Arceus, and Giant Cape's not going to help us, which is tough. Do we take the KO here? We have to, right? But we're going to get KO'd back next turn, which is the part that's sad, right? That is the part that's sad. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just KO the active here. There's just nothing, the fact that he went 4 for 4 off the jump is just like not good for us at all, because it put Arceus below. So we're at the mercy of the coin flips for sure. That's always been the case, but like, you know, it's tough when Yu-Gi goes 4 for 4 to start the game. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much you can really do there. Giant Cape is actually probably going to matter here, because unless he goes 0 for 3 on these coin flips, we are just not in a position to win this game, I'll tell you what. But, I mean, technically speaking, it's possible. No, it's not possible. I was hoping. I was hopeful. I really was. I thought we had something. I thought we had a chance. I'll be honest. I thought we had a chance. No, this is definitely going to be the L here. I'm not going to... Listen, you know, I've seen stranger things. You know, maybe our opponent doesn't flip any more heads, right? Maybe he doesn't.
but I'm pretty sure he will. So let's go ahead and pass here. We could have gone into this Arceus, actually. Yeah, maybe that would have been a better play. I don't know, actually. Was this thing in our hand the whole time? I don't know. I was kind of tilted from turn 1 when I saw the double heads and then the double heads, I'll be honest with you. But again, you never know here. We could see like 10 coin flips and no heads. So, I mean, you know what, it is what it is. Listen, just going Celebi and just doing nothing else but flipping heads. Like, sometimes you win games, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know, right? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4, just for good measure, right? Why, why not just do 200 for 4? I don't know how many coin flips our opponent did that game, but I think he only missed like 1 or 2 coins that entire game. And when you do that with Celebi, you're gonna win. Like, there's very few decks that can just sort of live like that much damage from Celebi, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, it's not a great showing. That wasn't a great showing, I'm not gonna lie. But listen, I've been rolled by Celebi coin flips before. I'm not tilted. Trust me, I'm not. And you can ask me again. I'm not tilted. Let's do one more game, and then we're gonna wrap up this video because I like this deck, and I would love to showcase Carnivine early on. For some reason, we just have not been able to lead with Carnivine. I think this is like our 4th game. And I would love to just have Carnivine in the active spot. We are going 2nd. No Carnivine, of course. Let's just lead off with Arceus yet again and see if we can get something rolling here. Get something rolling. Going 2nd's fine leading with Arceus. We are going to be ahead of the curve here. Going against a Druddigon is interesting for sure. Definitely an interesting lead here. Is this a water? It's got to be a water deck. No, it's fire. Okay, so I wonder if this is Arceus and Druddigon. Rocky Helmet Druddigon, really? Okay, sure. We'll take 40 damage if we attack you. Sounds fair. Sounds totally fine here. Research turn 1 with Pokeball. I don't know what our opponent's playing. We're playing against Druddigon and Shaman. I don't know what this is actually. I'm not sure. He's only got 1 spot left, so he's got to have something here. Okay, so let's see what we draw into here. We draw into the Carnivine, but unfortunately we cannot use it quite yet. Let's go ahead and attach to the Arceus here. Do we even really want to use Carnivine though is the question, because we're taking so much damage. We probably just want to go ahead and fully set up our Arceus and just start swinging, I think. We have 1 Sabrina in the deck, or no, we have 2 Sabrinas in our deck as well. So drawing into one of those could be pretty nice. We have all of our other supporter cards, so maybe we draw into a Sabrina here. Next turn, we're probably going to research and then just kind of go with that. Our opponent passes is crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. I have no idea what we're playing against. There's a Sky Support Shaman. I think we're going to bench it just to have it there on the bench. Is nice. And then let's play Research. We're probably just going to go again and just lean into the Arceus here. Playing Turbo Carnivine probably isn't very good when you're going against a Rocky Helmet Druddigon. No Sabrina is kind of crazy. And a little bit unfortunate, actually, even, I would say. But let's just go ahead and pass yet again. Very non-turbo. I know, like, listen, this is supposed to be a fast-paced, aggressive Arceus deck. We haven't done any of that so far in this video, but trust me, it can be really good. If you're going 2nd and you have Carnivine turn 1, that 50 damage is super, super strong here. We're actually staring down a Druddigon on the bench, which is kind of gnarly here. I'm not gonna lie, and no Giant Cape to protect us either is kind of scary, actually. I'm assuming he's gonna retreat next turn, so I think what we kind of have to do here is just attack, but we should be, I mean, I don't know, like maybe this is a pretty funny scenario, actually. We have Rocky Helmet. What do we do, actually? What do we want to do? 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 I don't want to attack into the Druddigon. I just don't. I don't think that's the play. So, wild times here. So he could retreat out. Like, he's probably going to attach here and then have a way to retreat out and then attack into our Arceus, which is not what we want. But even if he does do that, what is he going to do after that is the question. Probably nothing, right? So I think it's probably better if we don't attack. I just don't think taking that 40 damage and taking the KO on the active is ever worth it, right? It's never something we should be doing, I don't think. Pretty confident. Let's just go ahead and attach this. I attached it to the wrong Arceus, but I don't think it actually matters here. I'm not actually attacking. I'm not, because I don't think it's ever worth it. He has to attack with this Druddigon, which means we take 90, and that's obviously more than 40, but then we KO, and then what, right? Well, then what does our opponent do? Nothing, really, is the answer, right? So I would rather just wait another turn, because we might draw into a Sabrina. We have 6 cards in our deck, and 2 of them are Sabrina,
And that is if he's able to retreat without having to attach to the active this turn, right? So keep that in mind. Something to keep in mind here. Arceus is doing 100. Druddigon does have 100 HP, so maybe it's worth attaching to this Arceus here. It's probably better to just bench this other Arceus. I don't know why I didn't, I'll be honest. I keep benching this Arceus, or not benching it. It's really interesting. I never really thought about how to use this card. I know it has a decent amount of HP, but 4 energies to attack is pretty bad. I know I said early in the video this isn't really a Pokemon we use to attack, but either way, it's an interesting card. For sure. It's really just used as a way to guarantee, or more so guarantee, that we have an Arceus on our bench to activate our Cardamine. But what are we going to do? Okay, so we see the active attachment, which is what I suspected. Our opponent does not have a way to do that. So if we see a Sabrina here, that would be really great. There we go. Everything's sort of paying off here. Let's attach there and let's Sabrina. This is what we wanted from the beginning here. So now we can very comfortably, I would say, get an attack off, take a KO here without taking all of that damage, and we could still just top deck into another Sabrina, right? That's the other thing you got to keep in mind here. And I guess we're just going to attach to this Arceus because why not? It can do 100 damage. But yeah, we're in kind of a weird spot for sure. Our opponent's probably going to go into this Druddigon. No, he's not. He's actually just going to go into this one again. He really wants me to attack this Rocky Helmet Druddigon, but I'm not interested in it. I'll be honest with you. And that's the weird thing about this deck we're going up against right now is that, and really the problem with Druddigon is that it's really awkward to attack with it. And there's another Shaman taking the spot of the last Shaman. I wonder if he realizes, I wonder if he thinks that we have another Sabrina in our, we have another Sabrina in our deck. He might not know that. He might be assuming that we don't. But okay. Celestic Town Elder coming out. Craziness. And then a second Shaman. Whoa. He can retreat for free here. The Shaman does stack, I'm pretty sure. We probably should have kept that in mind. I think I literally forgot about that from like the very beginning here. I wish I probably didn't forget about that because we probably could have made some plays earlier in this video. I'm pretty sure Shaman stacks. Yeah, it's got it, right? Yeah. Okay, anyway, we're going to KO this Druddigon, but now we have Giant Cape, so we're at 120 HP and we're kind of just safe, so I think we win the game. But yeah, so interesting. This is this deck. I didn't expect the games to go like this. Normally when I play this deck, it's very Carnivine focused. Really just showcasing Arceus in this video and how ridiculous Arceus is, because it is. It really is a really strong card. But Druddigon certainly not kind to these sort of aggro decks or aggro cards that we have here. But yeah, we're just gonna get hit with a listen. He did it. He Dragon Clawed us finally, but just it was not enough here. And let's just show him. This isn't a BM. Oh, I was gonna play the other Sabrina. I wanted to show him that we had another one. But anyway, guys, that's the video. We're gonna end it there, and that's the deck list. Hopefully this was fun. Maybe it was, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, Turbo Carnivine Arceus, probably one of the lesser popular ways. I think like the 3rd most common way people are playing Arceus right now, but in my mind, the most fun way to play Arceus. Really, really fun. I think Carnivine's good, even though we weren't able to showcase it too much in this video. Really, really fun deck list, and I think that Grass is good. I think Executor in Arceus is also really good. But either way, this is one of my new favorite decks, and for sure, one of my favorite decks to play currently in the game of Pokemon Pocket right now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. By the way, if you're watching this, I'm not going to be able to upload a video on Monday. I'm going to be traveling, so Meta Monday is actually going to come on Tuesday yet again this week, and I do apologize for that. But we will have a Meta Report coming on Tuesday, probably. So, yeah, anyway, guys, peace out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys later, and yeah, bye.